Hello, welcome to our Minutes of Inspiration. And we are talking about things that we have received in our creation, things that we can use or not use. And these are things that can help us to be encouraged, to have hope. And today I want to talk about something that God really did not want us to have in the beginnings. In Genesis 2:17, we read that God did not want man to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So in a certain way, we could say that God never intended mankind to know the difference between good and evil, right and wrong, and so on. But if we look at our lives, we have to recognize that the discussion if something is right or wrong, if something is good or bad, good or evil, this is a discussion that almost enters in every sphere of our lives, and we have to really be cautious that we do not live totally and exclusively on the basis of making this difference between good and evil. Now, there is good and evil. We know that from the New Testament, but when the New Testament talks about good and evil, it talks about good and evil in the sense of moral and ethics. There is sin, and sin is bad, sin is evil, and there's nothing that can excuse or justify sin. But the problems that we have as human beings, and unfortunately also among Christians, is that we call things good and evil, good and bad, that really shouldn't be called good or bad or evil. Because there are opinions about Bible interpretation, there are opinions about situations. Right now, in the midst of this crisis, there are so many of opinions going on, and this is good, this is bad. And we have to remember that in the beginning, God, what he really wanted, what he really intended, is that mankind eats from the tree of life. Now, if we look at the Bible, the tree of life appears in Genesis 3, but the tree of life also appears at the end of Revelation. But the tree of the knowledge of good and evil it vanishes at the end of the Bible. So in between, Jesus comes, and because Jesus dies for all that has been bad and evil on earth, and because he has taken the guilt on himself, so the discussion in a way should be ended. Now, eating from the tree of life really is eating from the tree of love, because love is that which produces life. And we should really limit our discussions to the level of where we really ask the questions, is this what we're doing love? Or is this a thing about the winning or losing in the discussion of good and bad? If we organize our thought life just in good and bad, well, there will always be losers and winners, because somebody is right and somebody is not. So we have somebody who loses and somebody who wins. Now, God never intended mankind to be a loser, but in order to really, for all of us to become winners, we have to learn how to eat from the tree of life again, which is the tree of love, because in Proverbs we learn that love covers a multitude of sins. So this is the way of God. And just think about it. If God would have insisted on being right, mankind would not have existed. But because God renounced his right to be right, he chose the way of love, the way of forgiveness, and that is the way we should choose for ourselves also. So God bless you with these thoughts in Jesus' name.